Do it.
I like to cut it.
Do it.
You heard that song?
No, I don't remember. Do your chain.
You got to cut it.
Do your chain.
These prices are way too big. You need to cut it. You never heard that?
No.
OG Mako?
I might know it if somebody was actually like doing.
No, I don't know if that's OG Mako now. What's up, and welcome to the DweeBros podcast.
Welcome aboard.
Special announcement, we got to get it right out of the way. We're no longer going to be talking games. We're no longer going to be talking movies and TV shows. We're only going to be talking about, this is the podcast where we debate MGK or Eminem.
I
Whose
came
side are you
thoroughly unprepared.
Start where you on. What side are you on?
Did Eminem release an album or something?
He dissed a bunch of people in an album.
Oh.
Okay, Eminem or MGK, whose side are you on?
I don't particularly like either one, but old Eminem was cool, so I'll give it to Eminem.
What about you?
I like Travis, so I'm also gonna go with Eminem.
Old Eminem.
Old
we haven't
Eminem,
seen old MGK yet. Old man
Okay.
MGK. We've only seen young MGK.
So yeah, keep subscribing if you're really. That's what's going to be
Clearly,
the next
we
podcast.
know how to talk in depth about the rap feud.
And
Yeah.
I'm not biased in any way.
Yeah, you're going to get a lot. So you know what? I've scrapped that idea. I think we should go back talking about games, talking about movies,
a little
talking
more
about
in our element.
Yeah, a little bit, but we might swing back at the end at that. You never
Yeah.
know. It might feel right.
You would think that Eminem threatened to kill somebody. The way I've heard about this in the news lately.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe he did. I don't know.
maybe
I
that was in the rap.
Listen to that album at all?
All right. Who's better for Bobby Millie Brown? MGK or Drake?
That's another debate. That's up for debate. So you might be wondering, Jacob looks a little different. Oh wait, is that Jacob at all?
To answer your question,
or reveal the end.
definitely could be, or maybe not.
Or maybe we might reveal now. I don't know. Jacob's out this week. You know, he had some. He had to do some. High level stuff.
Hey, you talking to me?
Yeah.
We can't even talk about what
Yeah.
high level stuff he's doing.
As they say, next man up.
All I'll say is, you thought Elvis Presley was dead? Think again. He might be involved in all that FBI. But this is Devin. Devin's here.
What's that?
Flew in just for this podcast because
The one and only reason.
He heard. Yeah, that was the one and only reason. Here, Jacob's working with the Elvis Presley case.
Now's my chance.
So I also mentioned to Devin this is his first non-wet podcast because he was in the pool.
Oh, he was in the pool.
That's
So,
the only podcast
This
I've
is your first dry podcast. Welcome.
A dry run, so to speak.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you.
So yeah, welcome to the podcast. We talk games, we talk media, we talk what's hot, we talk what's not. And
Stock exchange.
you never know.
Buy or
MGK,
sell.
Eminem.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to go straight for, what's on everybody's lips and tongues. Or thumbs. And that is, Apple showed off some new iPhones. Did you guys upgrade?
No. No, I did
Nope.
not.
Well, I want to talk
no.
because
This will be a soliloquy.
a little about did you watch any of the keynote or anything?
Yeah,
and stuff, whatever.
I watched the whole thing. Yeah.
So one thing, this was probably, I did not like. This is the first one where I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But I had no really big excitement. I did get the new phone. I did get the new XS or whatever because of the plan I'm on. It just makes sense. But this was one where it just started to get a little crazy, and I saw a picture that summed it up. Somebody tweeted online. They said, iPhone's starting to look like Kingdom Hearts. And it was all of the iPhones. It was iPhone X, the XR, the 7, the XS Max, or whatever.
2.8 remix.
And I was like, yeah, it's 2.8 remix. It's like, what are
That's
we doing?
how I've been starting to feel with the 5Cs and the 7S. And
Yeah,
the X
that
and
started
the
getting a little
XS
crazy
and
there, too.
And the 8 Plus. Like, I don't know what's going on.
It's
I don't even know what number my phone is. I forgot.
He forgot.
Somebody asked me, so I don't know. I don't know. I really don't.
Yeah, it's just getting kind of
big.
crazy with all those. But yeah. So I wonder if they'll do some big thing next year. I don't know, but
I'm sure they will.
the big thing I'm waiting for.
Can I say something? They haven't Kingdom Hearts it. In your words, they've Star Wars it. It used to be a big deal when a new iPhone came out. And anymore, I think it's like any other. It's
there
like
you go.
Just like you said, Star Wars is like Marvel. It's like Samsung Galaxy. I don't know what you're doing. You got some.
I
Little
will
gimmick.
give them a half pass.
They have completely lost me in terms of this is a big deal.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal
because it's yearly.
Well,
and
and this year I don't think it was supposed to be a big deal. Though.
Yeah, it's the S.
Is always.
They always do like 4S, 5S, and
so
usually
it's their spinoff.
It's
their Han Solo.
Yeah.
This is their Han Solo.
It really is.
You win anyway, even though you weren't excited.
It really is the Han Solo.
This is the Han Solo of iPhones.
But even the S's usually have this thing where it's like cool, but like this one, I love to upgrade every year because I'm a big person on like the camera. Like I love getting like better, like cause I'm always taking pictures. I'm always taking video of like stuff or vacations or events that we're at and stuff. So it's always worth it to me. But there's usually some type of like cool little thing they kind of throw in there. I think even the 4S was when Siri came like with that same kind of like phone generation. But yeah, I don't. It was just kind of okay. It was the first one where I was like, oh, okay,
you can buy it.
And I think what they tried to do was like, because they did have like what could have been the cool thing with the XR, but they're trying to market it as like the budget phone.
Yeah,
but
it's $750.
It costs just as much as my iPhone 8, and it has. I looked
What's
this up.
XR? I haven't even heard of this.
It's kind of like the 5C.
Yeah.
So instead of XC, it's XR.
Yeah.
So you got the XR and you got the 5C.
The XR, the XS, and the XS.
And you got an 8. Where's the 9?
There was no 9. They Microsoft it.
But I looked
this
this up.
company is in trouble. They need to change the leadership. I'm saying it right now.
I think they just. Part of me is like, wow, the one thing they figured out, the one thing that actually came out of this was they found out how to charge $1,000 for a phone and found out that idiots like me will
do
pay
it
for it. Now, I do kind of like the installment plan stuff, so that's kind of the thing I get past that, but man, like, yeah, these phones are like $1,000 now, and that was kind of their feature. That was kind of the feature of the presentation. We found out how to charge $1,000 for the phone.
Yeah. Well, that budget phone was like, to me, it was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, yes, that's what I'm going to get. Like, that's going to be my next thing because I don't want to pay for, like, the XS or whatever. But, like, I'll take the one if it's got, like, a little bit of a lesser camera or something like that. Yeah. But they took out Force Touch. The screen...
Yeah, what was up with that?
The screen is the same pixels per inch as the iPhone 4.
Really?
The XR is. It's a bigger screen, so it's more spread out, but it's the same pixel density as the iPhone 4. And so, like, but they charge just as much as my iPhone 8, so it's not an upgrade in any way other than the screen size. It is a downgrade in every other way.
It is like a budget phone, even though $750, like, oh, frick. A lot of people are doing the 2-year and 1-year, like, upgrade kind of things. That's what I'm on, like, the installment plans where they just put on. I think that is because that probably ends up being, like, I don't know, maybe, like, $20 a month extra.
Maybe.
That's something for, like, kids could, like, get past their parents, like, we'll throw the extra 20, you know what I mean, 15 to 20-ish or whatever, but I don't know.
Because that's what I'm on, like the 2-year plan or whatever, and I was really excited for that,
but yeah, they just keep doing goofy stuff. I still, at the end of the day, I use this I use this more than any other technology, and it just works. So, they're doing goofy stuff, but
they're getting away with it right now.
Steve, if you're watching, okay, he's not. So Tim, if you're watching,
if I have a 7, there's 8 and X and XS. I'm 3 behind.
Yes,
that makes sense. My phone is starting to really struggle.
So maybe think about.
I just picture like inside of my phone. There's just like decrepit,
the hamsters,
like society,
like
depression, and just like, please, sir, my father can't get a job at the factory.
Go. Yeah, so that was iPhone stuff, but what else happened this month? Oh, I want to talk. Let's get into game stuff. Cyberpunk 2077 gameplay. So I think last podcast.
Did you watch it?
Or maybe one of the hangouts I was asked, what did I think of that gameplay? And at first I was like, I'm going to stay away from it.
Because I asked you too, and you were like, you weren't going to watch it.
But I eventually said, this game is probably another 3 years out. It's going to be a lot different.
Yeah,
I'll scrub through. I'll kind of scrub through and whatever. So I did that. Here's my thoughts. Game World looked incredible. Did you kind of love?
I watched the whole thing.
Okay, yeah. You watched.
I'm an idiot. It's like 45 minutes.
No,
long.
I kind of watched a little bit.
You should sit down and watch the whole thing.
I think it's worth it. Yeah.
Well, I watched for like 3 minutes and then I kind of moved because I didn't want to watch the whole thing. I didn't want to I'm weird like that. But I thought the world and like what was around it and stuff is so cool. Mm-hmm. But I was surprised when I watched the like gun combat stuff. I went like it didn't like impress me. It kind of made me like, really? I don't know if this is going to be fun or not. Maybe I need to like watch more stuff.
I think you need to watch more. Yeah.
Because I did. I
watched like a couple quick seconds at work, and I was like, I don't know if this is what I wanted. And then I watched the hour-long presentation. I was floored.
So I should watch it as a whole.
Yes.
Yeah.
There is some stuff that I have never seen before.
Because the game, I did when I first saw the gameplay stuff, I was like, oh, I don't like that. I did go and like scrub to other like combat parts, and it just seemed like the duck cover stuff, and that immediately like sends me all, like
you need to watch. You need to watch.
Okay,
it, yeah.
Do they kind of press on that more? Okay, maybe I'll take back my thoughts. Maybe next podcast I'll watch the whole thing.
This game is.
It's going to be big.
World, dude.
Yeah.
This game is going to be the biggest.
Yeah, because world stuff, that was
anything that's planning on coming out the year this game comes out, get out of the way. Because it's getting, like, the views it gets and the traffic it gets online and on Reddit and stuff. This game is going to be, it will be bigger than The Witcher 3 was. It'll be bigger than, it's going to be GTA level big. I will say, like, when I first started watching, I was like, oh, is this, like, just straight action? And I didn't know, is this like a Destiny type thing, like with the shooting?
Go ahead and spoil it for me. What changes? What's so fun about the combat?
I mean,
like, what changes up?
It's been about a month since I've watched it, but I think that it's all like D&D role based. Like, so it's not turn based, like you're shooting and stuff, but like your stats completely drive that stuff. And you can put your stats towards things if you don't even want to emphasize gameplay. You don't have to. But there was a gun that he got that was like a later stage gun.
Yeah.
And it was like this gun, and the reticle was like a pink box, and it took up like, if this is the screen, it took up like this. And he was like, so this is a gun that if you spec your character a certain way and you invest in the stats a certain way, this is a gun that you can get, you can customize, and the customization looks crazy. And literally, like, it was like an aimbot, where like the bullets curved around walls and stuff. And then he had another gun that like had ricochet, so when he aimed on the walls, it had a laser sight that showed where it would bounce across the room, and he like bounced it off of walls and stuff.
Well, and
like
there was
on the fly, like the customization is out of this world.
Okay, I'll go back and watch
for like
more of that.
body mod stuff too, or like even for the way that they like navigated around the room and
the very beginning when they're running around those apartments and stuff, and it's that gun combat. It's very vanilla. But they say, like, this is literally, like, when you start.
Yeah,
you don't have any UI. Did you see where they were, like, putting stuff in his eyes?
Yes.
Okay, so, like, so everything for the first 20 minutes had no UI. Like, it had a pistol, no UI. It was as vanilla as it gets. And then throughout the demo, they started just putting on layer and layer and layer and layer of how it just gets way more complicated.
That helps.
Yeah.
Also, one of the coolest, the thing that blew my mind and it made me think of Metal Gear Solid 5 was did you see when he jacks into that guy's head inside of when they're in that like criminal
for a second
base?
that was
he jacks into this dude's head and it tells him his name and it shows visually his crew and then it shows who the leader of their crew is. And then it shows the other leaders of the crews and all their crews and who he had killed or not killed in those crews and who he had encountered or not encountered. And it went all the way up through that like building or that organization.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Dude, it was nuts. I was like, oh my gosh.
All right, I'll come back. I'll give more thoughts next podcast. Eventually I'll watch the whole video. First podcast, didn't watch it. Next podcast, I watched a little bit of it. Next week, I might have the full game.
I am very excited for the game. The world design, yes. I think the combat will be fun. I'm going to play it mouse and keyboard, so I'm hoping it's more stat based than action based. There's going to be action. It's an action game, but I think that the only thing, and it's not quite like that Beyond Good and Evil thing where like the tone was different, because with that they took a game that was like very lighthearted kind of, and then the second one was F, and I was like, this is weird. I mean, don't get me wrong, all of the Witcher games have been very vulgar at times and stuff, but this game, I don't know what it was just a crew, like the dialogue was so like F, and I was just like, okay, like I'm fine with that. It does not bother me, but it was just like at times it felt a little lazy with the writing, but I trust these guys implicitly, like completely with writing dialogue. So I think that was just kind of the
maybe they'll come through at the end. They'll cut on an F word here and F word there.
Well, and they also, I don't know what company this was. Oh, it was Bethesda. They say that they develop all their games and then they do a pass through and they cut out like 80% of the profanity. And they say they only do that because they go overboard in the development process and then they cut some out. So, I mean, profanity does not bother me. I enjoy some good profanity, but it literally was just like there was a point in the demo where there was like 8 F words in one sentence. And I was just like,
that's lazy, right?
It's kind of lazy.
Well, and it's like when you're in mid-development, like everything, all the ideas like sound good all at the same time.
Yeah. So, but as far as vertical slices and gameplay and systems, and
that's
I don't know if you saw the character build, it literally looked like a D&D sheet, and you're like putting in like backstories and stuff. Like this game looks fantastic.
It seems like it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
So speaking of huge and speaking of cussing, Nintendo Direct was this month. And that was something that I kind of was like, okay, they'll show some 3DS stuff, they'll show whatever, and that ended up being kind of there's some meat to that.
I completely missed this. I know there was gonna be one, and then like
it got put
back because the hurricane.
Totally understandable. And then I don't know, like I just was
I forgot about
something else, and I just saw Twitter explode.
Well, yeah, because there was a thing going around where people were like sending to like popular Twitter accounts like Nintendo announced the new Direct, and it was 9/13/2017, and everyone was like, the new Direct, they confirmed the new date, 9/13, and then, you know, like, however long it took them to figure it out.
Geez.
But it was actually on 9/13 of this actual year.
They just got the year wrong.
Like, it was a fake thing, or it was actually not even fake, it was an old picture that they kept trying to just trick people with, and it was working.
It worked. They really messed
but
up.
But it actually, like, they actually did it then.
So they showed off Luigi's Mansion 3, which...
There was a 2?
Yes, on 3DS. On 3DS. And it was a great game.
Is one worth going back and playing?
Absolutely.
Because my only memory of that was I was an N64 kid through and through.
Yeah.
And I saw the GameCube at Walmart when it was new. And I said, Mom, I want to play that. I want one of these. And then I got on, and there was a Pikmin demo, and I ran around for about 10 seconds and said, I don't know what this is.
As a kid,
and then I put on Luigi's Mansion, and I ran around for like a minute and was like, this isn't Super Mario 64, this sucks, I want an Xbox. And that was like my whole life diverted. But now I look back on Luigi's Mansion, I'm like, that actually looks kind of fun, but I don't...
Do you have a 3DS?
No, I do not.
Because they're also bringing
supporting Luigi's Mansion 1,
to the 3DS.
Why not on the Switch?
Hey, that's the same question I had.
Yeah, you can only ask so much of Nintendo.
Yeah, you can only.
The fact that they're like porting it.
I almost feel like I should get a 3DS though, because there's so many things.
It has a great library, yeah, and especially now.
You pick one up for like $150, right?
Yeah, if you get a 2DS, they're super cheap.
And it'd be great to play when my Switch dies, which happens unfortunately very
all
often
the time
when I'm on road trips. Okay.
So, Luigi's Mansion 3, that looks pretty neat. And it's on Switch this time, so no more 3DS.
Very excited.
Final Fantasy 7, and actually...
Yo, this is cool.
Final Fantasy 7, they skipped 8.
I know.
I found and then...
which I'm playing 8 on PC, I'm dying. Give me it on PS4, give me it on anything but Steam, because there's all this DRM on there.
9, 10, and I think 10-2, 10-2, and then 12.
That's big...
Are all come to Switch.
Now... Okay.
And that's fun to have an RPG on a Switch because you can take it off.
This is awesome because these were PlayStation exclusive forever.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's coming back to Nintendo.
Number 2. So now Cloud is on a Nintendo console.
Yeah, now
the Switch.
Yeah. Well, people on a Hangout, because I was like, where was he at? And people pointed out on Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories on Game Boy Advance.
Oh my god.
And I was like, what a stretch. He is on there. Yeah, because he's on Kingdom Hearts. But I was like, what a stretch on that.
That's really cool on that level. It's really cool on the level of, I still have some of these games to play, 10 and 12 specifically. and I would have gotten them on PS4 before, but I think actually now I might get them on Switch. That might be the way I play 10.
Yeah,
and 10,
that's a
12.
perfect way to play.
Because I already own 8, and I've already played 7, and I already own 9 for PS4. But I will probably do 10.
And I think
11,
they'll probably keep that
10,
fast forward
12,
feature
10,
that was on the PS4.
Yeah. So another thing though, there's supposed to be a remake of Final Fantasy 11 out there. You guys are aware of that, right? That gets known. Like they've announced it, they've talked about it. It's going to be
they talked about some of it porting to mobile.
It's going to be mobile. It's going to be like a remake of it, and I wonder if that winds up on Switch. Oh,
that would make more sense because when I heard about it on Switch, it kind of makes more sense. When they were talking, it was like originally like a mobile thing, and I was like, who has time to like do a raid
on their phone? Yeah.
That doesn't.
But
like,
I think that winds up on the Switch now. It makes sense. Anyway, also, I wish they would do something with 8. Because that's the one I'm trying to finish right now, and I can't get it on anything but PC.
Looks like you're going to be sitting on your PC chair, man.
Yeah,
ain't happening.
So I'm going to have to finish Final Fantasy freaking 8.
And last thing,
I thought that was cool, though. I wish they would do a whole... Give me a collection. Give me all the games, at least like all up through 12.
Yeah.
Give me all of them in one collection.
Maybe that'll come to NES Online.
I'll pay $200. I don't even care. Just give it all to me where I can access them all right there.
You're asking a lot.
I'm sad.
Of Nintendo and Final Fantasy. Square Enix.
These are the same people that made Unchained 2.8.
Yeah. And then the last thing they announced, Animal Crossing Isabelle for Smash, which is just a point, I guess, on there.
Who that?
It's one of the characters in Animal Crossing.
Is she a shadow of somebody else in this?
No, she's actually her own character.
Oh my gosh.
Are you excited for that? Because we've got the Smash expert right here.
I am excited. Because that's like not one I would have expected at all.
That's cool.
And I think, and basically,
this game gets a new character every
month. They're announcing.
It's going to be.
I think there's more. There's still more to come. It feels like
there was a recent.
I feel like she's not the last announcement. No, you don't end your announcements with Isabelle. I mean, all respect to Isabelle.
There was a
respect to Isabelle.
Because that Castlevania stuff was cool. Simon.
Simon and They said that they're going to announce every single character before the game comes out.
Yeah.
And I saw a leak that potentially has the last 4, I think was what the leak said.
Really?
I don't know.
So you've seen the leak.
Who was in the leak?
Well, the only reason I cared...
Let's keep leak free, but you saw the leak?
The only reason I watch it, because I'm normally like you, and like if I'm excited about a game, then I don't look at anything, but I was like, well, they're going to announce all this anyways.
I want the Master Chef in it. Master Chief, dude. Master Chief's going to be in it. And Doom Guy.
You know who I did actually read one leak? MGK and Eminem are actually going to... and you can battle them. And the words come out, like they shoot out, like the disses and stuff.
I like that. You could have Drake and his shadow could be Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah. Gel's about to be his shadow.
Yeah.
Can we talk about that? Have you heard about that?
I actually don't know anything about it.
I think this is really weird.
I'm like laughing every time you guys talk. I have no clue.
Who's Bobby Mills? Who is this
Millie
girl?
Bobby Brown is the girl from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So 14.
Reminder.
14.
I saw something about her, but I didn't get the context of.
She what was interviewed on like the red carpet. I think there was a separate interview and some other promo thing she did, but they asked her. I don't know where it came up or whatever. That Drake reached out and was like wanted to meet her or whatever. Like he was a fan of the show, whatever. Okay, that's normal. Okay, we start normal. And I guess they were in Australia, whatever. Went out to dinner that night or whatever together. Okay, whatever. Went out to dinner the following night together and stuff. And then they text each other, and she's like, "Yeah, we text each other, and we text each other all the time."
He gives me life advice,
and he gives me life advice and stuff. And then she's on the red carpet, and they ask, "What do you text about or whatever? What kind of things does he?" And he's like, Let's keep that in the text messages."
And then she told these other people later that like they text each other, they miss each other.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, we text each other, we miss each other," and it's like, my man Drake. Go back to making albums. Stop like this weird. I don't know. Makes me grimace. But you know. But I would say it's a bit of a stranger thing to do that.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
Have they though?
No.
Let's. We got Millie Bobby Brown off the list. Next, I want to talk about. You know, it was cool. They announced freaking Isabelle, but it wouldn't be. I wouldn't be Nintendo without Iwata's Final Troll. Welcome back. So we've got this new Nintendo Online thing. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You can play NES games, but some things are, Nintendo gives and it taketh away. It will give you something cool, and then it'll just kick you in the balls. That's kind of how Nintendo does a lot of stuff.
They give you something cool, but they just tie a little string of FU around it. Yeah. And it's like, I gotta get this off of here to get this nice present you gave me. Yeah. Or it's just like
that's what really worries me.
It's like a nice pair of pants with a little hole stain. And otherwise, it's a great pair of pants.
That's what extremely makes me extremely worried about Smash, because they put in every character on planet Earth. It's like somebody's going to fight me on sight when I pick it up on Best Buy. Like you get this game, but you have to fight this guy that's like an MMA champion. It's like, frick, I knew it. Come here, and I'm going to get my teeth knocked out. But cloud saves finally are here.
That doesn't really get a clap in the bottom.
But I mean, thank God they're finally here. Especially everybody's Breath of Wild save. If that messed up, you're
my gosh, yeah.
So now those are here. If your thing lapses or whatever, you're online. If you choose whatever for whatever reason, it deletes those saves. Whereas on PS Plus or whatever, they will keep those.
If you fail to renew,
it's like 6 months or something like that.
If you fail to renew, yeah. But there's why have the saves are such a small, you know what I mean? Just figure it out. You know what I mean? They're such small file size.
I think Nintendo's so new to this idea of having dedicated servers to store things that they're just literally like the most old school about it. Like, oh, they're not paying us? We don't save it anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they have no concept of how does the modern world operate with clouds, infrastructure, and servers. If they're not paying us, we're deleting. Like, it's literally like your landlord. It's like kicking you out. Like,
you're out.
You're 1 day late.
And
you're out. And
then
you're gone. Like, I've got another person here to take your space.
So then they announced, okay, Nintendo Online, here's the date or whatever. And then, people, awesome or whatever. And then they showed these NES, controller Joy-Cons that go on the side of the system. And they announced, okay, you can get these for $60. Okay, here's my money, I'm ready to pay, whatever. And you have to be subscribed to the service in order to get the thing. And then if you're on a family account, only one person can get, I
didn't know about the
well, they wised up to what we did. So, we can be mad at them, but they figured it out.
Well, we didn't have enough people for us to...
Yeah, there's a max of 8, and there's a couple of us that teamed up.
But if we'd done an individual plan of a whole year, it would have been a lot cheaper for each person.
If you
do a 1 year subscription as an individual,
it's $20. Whereas
for the whole month, but it's like you're paying like $1 a month, or no? So I guess
it's $20 for individual,
and then
I've
been in the car for a long time.
Math was amazing on that.
I've been driving, I've been flying, I'm sleeping.
He's been driving, he's been flying. It's his first dry podcast.
It's my first dry podcast.
But think about it this way, we saved money on those Joy-Cons. We can't buy them.
Because we can't buy them, thanks to
But I would have never bought in the first place.
But, yeah, just doing weird stuff like that, and it's like, why... I think what really just is a slap in the face of this is, they had awesome prizes for... buying Nintendo, if you bought Nintendo games, you got gold, coins or whatever. Mm-hmm. And you could register them and get, exclusive stuff you could only get with the coins on their store. And it made it fun, every year. I've got my Nintendo games. Okay, I have enough to get the, gold, platinum award this year, whatever. This just seems like I'm paying you more money and I'm paying you monthly, I'm paying you for, this online thing. Can't anybody just buy this? It didn't seem like a prize, you know what I mean? It just seemed screw you, you're gonna buy this thing.
I get why you wouldn't buy them though if you didn't have a subscription.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't even it doesn't have all the same buttons. It would literally only be useful for those NES games.
That does make sense. That's right.
Yeah, that was my thought. But also, I don't understand what it is about Nintendo that they spend all this time in R&D, getting things patented, getting them made, manufacturing them, that they don't want to just make enough to sell to the people that want them. They're always making these limited quantities. And then they run out, and then it's always a big thing.
I wonder if they're scared.
Always a big thing
from
with the NES Classic, SNES Classic. These things they don't make enough. So this was their way of saying we're not going to make enough, so we'll just limit who can buy it.
I wonder if they're scared from the Wii U not doing well, and they were down financially, they're scared to.
And there's just one guy who's head of procurement of materials to manufacture things. He's like, we're not getting any more than we know we can sell. And they're dude, let's go.
The only people that can buy this new device is people that have a Nintendo Switch Online that's born in February.
There's some
warehouse on GameCube.
There's some warehouse where they're just smelting Wii U's and melting them down and figuring out what can we make with this.
We can make 2 more NES controllers out of this. That, and then one more piece of game news that's hot off the press as we're filming this. The Steam is coming off the news. Telltale is shutting down.
I actually did not hear that.
Just came out today.
Just came out a couple hours ago.
Effective now. Effective today.
They're just done.
They are... They let go of the majority of their staff, and I was reading they're keeping 25 people on to finish, a skeleton crew to finish the last Walking Dead, the finale.
But I just read an update. That's actually not true either.
Oh,
they kept on a 20-person crew. I think it was US Gamer, some website just came out and confirmed there is a small crew staying behind, but they've canceled Walking Dead season 4.
Oh, wow.
The only thing that they're going to do is they were working with Netflix on some Minecraft project, and they're finishing that, and then
wow.
And then Last Man Out.
Why? Are they out of money? Or
I imagine money plays a role.
Money plays a role, and I think I think they just tried to do too many things at once. But I think that really kind of screwed them over.
I read that it was in the last year or two, they staffed way up.
Yeah.
Because they were taking on a lot of projects, and they staffed. I remember reading about it on
Avengers thing.
They staffed
Minecraft,
way up. They had, I want to say it was close to hundreds and hundreds, 300, 400, 500 person team.
Wow.
Yeah.
That huge, Bungie level, too many people. You have too many people to be making this game. And then I heard something about their engine. They were talking about maybe trying to switch engines, and then they staffed way down. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if they dropped some projects when they staffed way down, but they're done.
So my experience with Telltale is I played The Walking Dead season 1, and I think season 2 I played, and that was it for me, because I got it. I was okay, I'm fine with just this Walking Dead stuff. Walking Dead 1 was awesome. That was their big hit and stuff. So fun, definitely worth checking out. It won Game Awards and stuff for people. It just was really fun and exciting and new. But I think two things really, from an outside perspective, was I think this had a lot to do with, one, their engine just sucked, and that new Batman game, people complained how laggy it went, and even on those Walking Dead thing, it kind of lagged, and it's this is a point and click, you're walking around, but it's you're clicking on things, and this shouldn't perform like this, you know what I mean? When games like Uncharted 4 could hit 30, and it's the most gorgeous thing, I can't even believe what I'm seeing, and you have a cel-shaded character breaking under 30, it's you got to figure it out. So then they announced, we're going to build a new engine, and then this never happened. They just never got that out.
It sounds like mismanagement, maybe lack of a core goal, and just more projects than they could actually handle.
And they just kept hiring people, and I think, I think they felt they struck gold in a way, because Walking Dead, people they made a name for themselves. They had a formula. And then they're okay, we got Batman. It's and I was reading they have Avengers and stuff. They're signed up to do some Avengers thing maybe, and Game of Thrones. Oh, Game of Thrones was fun. Yeah, I played Game of Thrones. That was pretty fun. But I think they were we're gonna do this. And it's almost became the pop figures of we're gonna make this franchise, and we're gonna take this thing.
How much were those games? Those weren't $60 games.
No, they were $25.
I almost wonder. I feel like they didn't really have a good idea of revenue wise. And when you do those licensed games, for Batman, I'm sure DC's taken a cut of
Yeah.
the Batman game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think maybe they didn't
on
do
top
their
of that,
numbers right on that stuff.
On top of that, they missed a lot of their dates too. Like their episode 1 would come out, and people were like, "Where's episode 2?" I paid for the season pass thing, and it would be like a month or 2 months late, and stuff on that.
They're like the movie pass of video game companies, man. The train surpassed the tracks.
Yeah. So Telltale. I liked Game of Thrones. I liked that.
Man,
but
do you think we're still going to be able to get their games online?
What do you mean?
Digital?
Well, I don't know that there's any
are they
licensing. I don't think that's caving. Like,
because I mean, if
I think he's talking about like is it going to still be a storefront?
Like,
that's
am I
what
still
I'm
going to be
saying.
able to
No, I'm saying,
download
why wouldn't there
Borderlands
be?
on Steam?
There's other games where the company's defunct and you can still get the game.
That's true.
The licensing is what keeps it up. There will still be a shell entity that collects money of sales and it goes into a thing because the company goes away, but that means basically no one's working there anymore. But it'll still be in like a somebody will still own the property.
That's true.
I'm not sure whose rights. Sometimes banks,
because it's going to have to split somewhere.
I was listening to something. I don't remember where this was, but it was like a podcast dedicated to like what happens to game rights. Like after, I don't know if it was a podcast. I don't remember where it was.
It might have been No Clip.
But
maybe Good Old Games.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. That's exactly what it was. It was a great video.
Yeah, it was really cool.
And games like rights revert and they split in weird ways. And like sometimes a bank will own part of the game, and then someone will own as someone who worked on the game and not know, like as a director. Sometimes they'll own a piece and they don't even know they own it, and then they'll get people get in contact with them, and they're like, I don't even know where that is. Games are hidden
so basically there's like
stuff.
No law.
Yeah, like source code. I was listening on the Giant Bomb podcast. They talked about this guy wrote in and told a story about there's like all this copies of the source code for like these old games that's like in an office building like up above the scaffolding, and they hid it when they left. Like when the company left, they hid it up in the ceiling, and it's still there. It's still there. They said that they put it there and they didn't tell it, like the people that they put it there. I don't know what the purpose of that is, but so I mean, all that being said, I'm trying to think. What's an example of another company that shut down? Like
THQ.
THQ shut down. What?
Or did they?
They didn't shut
down.
No,
okay. Perfect
THQ
example.
bought the Darksiders. Who was Darksiders?
Because that was THQ.
That was THQ.
Yeah.
Then they think they did shut down.
Because they're making Darksiders.
Did Telltale?
Somebody
did Telltale publish themselves, or did somebody publish for them? Because that's the other piece. They were developers. But like if somebody, because like think about it this way, like the guys that made Dead Space, they're shut down, but EA published them, so they got those Dead Space rights.
That's true. That makes sense.
So I don't know who published Telltale Games.
If they publish themselves, put yes in the comments. If no, type no.
All that being said, I don't think that their games will disappear from storefronts because I'm sure on
the licensing
some level,
stuff makes it tricky, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, I'm sure
the licensed ones might be
a way
worse off.
to get them.
I guess what's the Wolf Among Us is probably the only not licensed one.
Yeah. No, that's a comic book series.
Is it really?
Yeah. I think everything's free.
They built their house on sand.
All right, so Telltale's, we're going to give you the Telltale salute. We hardly knew ye.
You can't tell my experience with Telltale?
Yeah.
Real fast?
Yeah.
It'll be real fast. I bought Walking Dead Season 1 for Xbox 360.
How'd you like it?
I had it. I set it on my shelf next to my TV when I was in college. I bought it used for like $18. And I had it for about 6 months. And then I went to GameStop again and I traded it in for something else for $5 and never played it. So,
all right, so salute to Telltale.
So I lost $7 and never played their game.
Nice. But you know what? I will say we are joking, but that sucks for people's jobs.
Yeah,
honestly,
that's terrible.
You know, the show must go on. But we salute you.
I hope those guys and gals find jobs. In other companies.
Yeah, I mean they did make good games, even if they weren't the best or they weren't as good as.
I think
they
the
used
quality
to be.
kind of diminished as time went on. But
was the writing good?
I liked it, yeah.
So there's a bunch of writers now that can go and help all these other games have better writing.
Maybe they can help with Cyberpunk's problems with the cussing.
Yeah.
They'll say, we don't need 18 F words, we'll cut it down to 2.
Yeah, some cool indie stuff sometimes comes
You're
out.
hired.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, what the heck's been going on the channel? What's been going up on the channel? You might see some hangouts. We've done some new hangouts with Doom. Did some Doom with Alex. That was pretty fun. That was the first kind of like multiplayer one. We kind of done like
Did you play Doom multiplayer?
Yeah, me and him. So that was pretty fun. And I put up an old game like merch and like figures video. I went because I moved recently. I put up a video where I went back over there and found this two like plastic tubs of old like plushes and action figures that I haven't seen in forever.
Oh wow!
And I just did like a 30-minute video, just sat down and like unboxed. Like I kind of remember that, and I was like, "What the frick is this thing?" Or like, "Oh my gosh!" And, like I found my old. I was obsessed in middle school, and it was still in there. Wristbands. Or sweatbands of like in a Pac-Man and Mario.
Oh jeez!
I had one that said like you gotta love yourself an Italian boy, and it was like Mario on it and stuff.
You were one of those.
Yeah, and I had Pac-Man, and I was like, I loved that stuff. Like I had sweatbands on all the time and stuff, so I had all that stuff. But that went up, and then the next stuff I put up, or the other videos that like we did was Alex joined for a game I played, and this kind of goes into like games we kind of played. This month, Dead Cells. Did a hangouts for Dead Cells. Having a good time when I did that hangout. Things change. Just like Telltale, the quality kind of goes down or whatever. My feelings on Dead Cells went downhill. Really enjoyed the game. Have you kind of seen anything about this game?
Just a little bit.
It's called a roguelite. Roguelite, I think is what they called it, but procedurally generated at times. Some things are the same, but you can lose everything. Like if you die or whatever, you can lose all your equipment and stuff. But the more I read, like I was reading about this game, is like you actually can progress and keep some of your progression or whatever. Okay, cool. This game hits a wall at some point because there are like 6 levels you have to get through. But each time you get a little bit better, you're unlocking new like random better weapons that you get. So, but what I found, this is what I went into. I should have listened to my gut. Was like this game is like you're literally rolling dice if you're going to get a good weapon or a good like defense like shield. So sometimes you'll have the suckiest, like it's literally like here's some boots and you kick enemies and stuff. Okay, and if you kick them near the wall, it's like really strong. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work for everything. So I hit a wall because it would take me about 30 minutes. It started at first 45 minutes. I got down to like 35-ish minutes to get to the final boss of the game. And I would be like, okay, I got to whatever. As I'm figuring out like the pattern of the boss or whatever, it depends what weapons I got. What kind of roll did I get to fight this guy or whatever. What stats did I get? And I got to that and I would die, and it's like in other games, you die at the boss, and even this made me respect Dark Souls, even though I had problems when like you would die at a boss, you have to run for 5 minutes to get to the thing.
Yeah.
This made me like Dark Souls is amazing because I hated like having to progress, like run through enemies and fight to get back to the boss. This takes 45 minutes to get back to the boss. I have to spend an hour of my life that I'll never get back to the boss to go, oh, he killed me again. And it's like
journey, right?
I have to go
destination.
I have to go through 6 levels of things I've already done. It's not fun anymore. So I hit a wall, and if you might have saw on the Twitter, the official DweeBro YT Twitter, I freaking deleted the game. I quit. I usually, this is something if I'm that far invested in the game.
How many hours you put in?
20.
Oh
I
my
quit.
God.
I said no because I really sat there and I was like, I've been very busy these past like couple weeks, and I would only have like an hour, 2 hours to like rest, to do something fun. So I was spending that 45 minutes, and then maybe I had time for a second run, and I would go, is this worth it? I'm using these 2 hours to just go to this boss and die because the boss is pretty difficult. But it's like I'm not learning the boss. You know what I mean? If it took me 5 minutes to get the boss, I'd beat it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd figure it out. But to take 45 minutes to maybe get farther at this boss to learn the thing, and I was like, it got to the point. I'm not having fun. I quit.
How many times did you go through that and fight the boss?
I'd say about 20 something times.
Oh man,
maybe 15, 20 or something times.
That's the thing, and I love FTL, but I've never beaten FTL. And I put about 10, 15 hours into FTL, maybe 20. Because it's that way, it's just random, and FTL is really hard. It's hard to get to the end. I've only gotten to the end 4 or 5 times. I've done probably 50, 60 runs. It's really hard to get to the end, and then you get to the end, and it's like an 8-stage boss, and it just blows me away. No matter what I do, no matter how prepared I think I am, I'm dead in the first stage. So to me, it kind of became a game of like, if I ever want to come back to this, I will, but like, I'm never going to beat this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just not going to. And that's why I've hesitated to pick up other roguelikes for that reason is...
This game has... Because I already in my head was like, I don't think I'll like the roguelike genre. And I picked up, and this one was fun. Like, I had fun for a while, but it has ruined me forever from playing any other rogue. I end my relationship with roguelikes.
You'll never go back.
It's done. I divorce you, roguelikes.
Oh my God.
Because it is like, I don't want to ever get to that point again where I'm so far and that keeps happening.
But
that
honestly,
is so aggravating.
I don't, knowing your taste in games, you like a contained experience.
Yeah.
That's not what a roguelike is.
Yeah.
They want you to put 50 to 100 hours in and get that win finally. Like, wow, and then go back and play it even some more. So I think that honestly is probably a healthy decision for you.
Because I was aggravated. I was like,
it doesn't fit into what you really look for in a game.
Yeah. But Dark Souls, I like that because that does kind of end. You know what I mean? There's an end point.
It's not a roguelike.
And it doesn't take 45 minutes to get to the boss again. Like, that kills me if I have to take that long. But Dead Cells, so we did hang out for that, but feelings change. Dragon Quest 11 joined me for that.
I did.
Been playing that a little bit more, and
is it still like just straight vanilla PS2 RPG?
Yeah. So this game, have you seen anything on it? The
Dragon
Quest games or whatever?
I've never played
like
any of them.
Offensively, I just mean like it is exactly from the first hour I watched you play. It was like just imagine PS2 whimsical JRPG like. Everything that entails, like menus, all the battle system as simple as can be, that was my impression of it.
They're adding little things here and there, but it is basically a PS2 game for the most part, and I'm loving it. It still has that charming town, and the story's picking up, and they're doing some funny, like, it just takes me back to just being
that good character work,
to being a teenager just playing Dragon Quest 8. So I'm having a fantastic time.
Cool. I've been looking for
I heard that
JRPG to get
cool
into.
Stuff with the world. Like, I heard there's cool... I don't want to get into it, but I just heard that, like, the world...
The world I'm already at, and, like, the open world and stuff, I love the character animation. We even talked about that in the Hangouts. Like, some of the animation, there was this pickle that I fought, this pickle guy, and, like, when you would kill him, he was, like... He had, like a spear. And, like, he would fall back, and it would, like, swing up in the air, like a cartoon, and he'd catch it before it, like, killed him. But he would just lay on his back, but just... So charming.
So let me ask this. When we did the stream, we did kind of talk about how these games, Dragon Quest, could really use a Breath of the Wild moment.
Yeah, just change it all up.
Do you still feel that way?
Yes, I do. Because this is the way I felt about Zelda, is you can always go back and play the other Zeldas. Let's change it up and go a little bit nuts for a little bit. And I feel like, let's go nuts with Dragon Quest. Well, I don't know what that looks like.
It's just like the Twilight Princess of Dragon Quest right now. This game.
I feel like it's
like it's just a good.
It's great, and I really freaking love it. Like I love just sitting back and playing that, especially after Dead Cells ruined my life. But I'm just having a great time with it. It's just charming, classic RPG. It moves a little bit faster than the other ones, so having a good time with the battle stuff. But what about you? Let's just.
So, earlier this month, I bought Hollow Knight. Oddly enough, I was kind of hearing about Dead Cells, and I was hearing about Hollow Knight on the Switch, and I was
you chose the...
I was trying to decide which one, and I didn't even know that you were going to be playing Dead Cells. But I decided to buy Hollow Knight, and that's because this whole Metroidvania genre, I've never played one.
Yeah.
Never, ever, ever. So,
and is it procedurally generated like Hollow Knight?
No.
I should have maybe gone with Hollow Knight.
You would love Hollow Knight in comparison to Dead Cells, probably. It is not procedurally generated. It's not a roguelike. It's not. It's like Castlevania, Metroid, basically meets Dark Souls kind of thing. So basically, this game kind of caught my eye. I got a buddy who was really interested in it because he loves that genre. And I've been wanting to play Symphony of the Night or Super Metroid, and I'll still get to those. But I kind of gone through this thing where like I was waiting to play these games that are newer, that are inspired by the old games, because I've been worried that if I play the new one, then I won't really enjoy the old one.
Yeah.
So I've been like, I don't want to play Hollow Knight because then I can't enjoy Symphony of the Night or whatever. And that may or may not be true. I don't know.
think that's true.
We'll get there when we get there. I will say Hollow Knight is a really good game. It's got a really good atmosphere. It's got good like world. It's like kind of like bugs and stuff and fungi, and like you're going deeper and deeper
I
into
looked
the
at that
ground.
one when I was looking
It's
deciding
like,
between Dead
it's
Cells
like
and
gothic horror meets like bugs. Like it's very interesting. It kind of reminds me of like Demon Souls in the sense of like kind of like the big echoey tombs and stuff. So
I'll
it's
just check
cool.
that one out.
It's really cool. That you get in that first area and you're like, oh my gosh, just kind of like a Dark Souls game but 2D, where you're like, and I think this is just a Metroidvania thing in general, of like, where am I? I feel like I'm feeling around in the dark, or I can go kind of down this way, and then you buy this map, and then you start filling it out, and I'm getting a feel for this area. You find some mini bosses, and then you fight like a main boss, and I'm getting adjusted. I've never done a lot of 2D action games. Because I didn't really grow up with the SNES, I really got started in the more 3D games. So to me, like, combat in a 2D space feels weird, or at least it has to me in the past. So that was a little bit of an adjustment, like getting used to how to get outside of like bosses' moves and swings and stuff. But getting into it, I've done 2.5 areas of the game, and I'm really liking it. I'm probably like 10 hours in. I think it's really solid. If you like Metroidvanias at all, you'll probably love this game. People online, the discourse seems to be very like, buy this game, oh my gosh, buy this game.
Yeah.
And to me, and I'm not super far into it, I really like it. I don't know that like I'm pissing myself the way that some people are about it, but I think it's really good. Like I would call it, so far it's on trajectory to be a rad. Some people consider it like all-time classic level, and I don't know if maybe I'm just not to certain things yet, but it's definitely good. Like it's a very good game. And a cool thing about it is when you fight, like, and you kill enemies, they drop little geodes, and then you can collect those, and it's your currency, and it's your kind of your way you buy things, and you don't level up, but you kind of, it's a lot like the Souls and Dark Souls, and when you die, you drop them, and then you can go down and retrieve them. So it's kind of like Dark Souls in that, where like you'll be deep in these caves, and you've got a lot of these geodes, and it's like, oh my gosh, and then you die. The cool thing is, and I didn't expect this, is when you go to retrieve, it's not you just go back and step on it. There's a ghost version of you that starts coming at you and swinging at you, and you have to kill it. It only takes a couple hits, but you kill it, and then you get your geodes back. So it's kind of like the Dark Souls, but imagine if there was like a version of you that you had to kill real fast, too, but it's not super hard. So Hollow Knight's cool.
Cool. So
speaking of old games I'm worried I won't like anymore. And actually, it's funny that I brought that up. The second thing I played, this was just the other night, with the Switch Online stuff coming out. I don't know if any of you guys messed with this yet.
I downloaded
this
that's all I did.
Nintendo Entertainment System Online. First off, I think this is awesome. I am all for this. I think this is great. I like that they've got a 30, is it 30 games or 20 games?
It's 20,
20 games, whatever it is, and I'm excited that they're going to keep adding to it. I think that's great. So my thought was when I opened it up, because I was like, I played Super Mario Brothers, at like friend's house. That is the extent, and Duck Hunt is just about the extent of my NES. And we did some emulator stuff when we've gone to like little arcades and stuff, but that's mostly it. So I was just kind of like, okay, this is the first time I've had at my fingertips, like the ability to just kind of pick these games up, and I can do save states. So quick rundown, I played some Tecmo Bowl, which is a football game that people love, they rave about, they always say it's like 4 plays. I played like a game of that. It was fun. I definitely see why people like it. My impression is it was cool. It was fine. It was fun. Better than Madden. I don't know if you ever played Tecmo Bowl.
I can't remember if I have or not, but like these NES games I feel are like the kind of like,
they're like
beta. I feel like they're the beta to video games.
Yeah, well, this is exactly what I was about to say. I thought it was fun for
they're
a second.
novelty fun things.
They're novelty fun things. I get to play this thing and see what people rave about, but like people love that because they played it for hours as a kid and they have nothing else to do.
Exactly.
Because then I turn on Excite Bike. I'm like, I hear a lot about this one, and you kind of like driving over these hills.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is cool for its time. It's a little inventive. You can kind of go now. I was like, okay. Then I put on Mario Brothers, not Super Mario Brothers, Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
What a turd! That game is.
Did you never played that?
That
before?
game is a complete waste. That is.
Are you talking about the one where
Mario Brothers?
Okay.
Yeah, with the platform.
That game is garbage. I don't even know how they salvaged the series after that stillborn of an awful game. That game
you heard it here first. Mario Brothers sucks.
That game is. Did that come out before Super Mario?
It was
Brothers?
like in arcades or something. I think.
Yeah, it was an arcade game.
So the NES launch was Super Mario Brothers, and then Mario Brothers.
Yes, was an arcade, and then they did
what
it. I think
a disaster that game is.
It's a weird thing.
It's interesting.
It is so.
I don't know
weird.
that I would.
You're
call
jumping
it a
on
disaster.
It's this weird, like
jumping on Koopa shells and trying not to like.
You know where they show like the evolution of like the ape to the man.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, there's transitional
This is like the
species
dirt
in between.
before it
Like
becomes
Donkey Kong is like the ape, and then the man is like is Super Mario Brothers, and then like the weird like what is that? That looks like
Protozoa.
that is Mario Brothers. That game is god awful, so I'll never play that again.
That's so funny. I'm surprised you hate it.
It is something that I always play as a novelty thing, and then that is like 2 minutes
I played it for about 20 seconds. I said, "Oh, that's what this is." No,
because I normally when I see it, it's like, oh yeah, it's this little game that like you play for 2 seconds, and then it's like, I had the whole experience, and
So juxtaposed against Super Mario Brothers, which is a game I regret to say I've never beaten Super Mario Brothers.
It's
I actually
hard.
never
It's
have
difficult.
So that's what I was about to say. Even with save states, and I was trying to at first be like, I'm gonna get through the level, and I'll just save state at the beginning of the level, and if I don't get through, then I'll just start over. I'm not gonna save state in the level because then I got the World 5. I'm safe stating in the level. These dudes are chucking axes. There's clouds.
I've never beat it without
stuff.
save states. I should say.
That game is hard. It's been hard my whole life. I want to beat it just to say I've seen the end credit screen of that game. But I do struggle with like just how difficult that game is.
It's pretty difficult.
And the jumping, it feels a little wonky. I mean, it's old. But I will say it's really cool. That game is
for as old as it's very tight. I think.
That is a tight game. It is good for what it is. Dr. Mario, played a little bit of Dr. Mario. I had no idea what I was doing. I figured out the rules. See, I've been playing a lot of Puyo Puyo Tetris the past couple of years. So when I turned it on, I was like, I was like, okay, I'm at home, and then I started dropping them in, like trying to figure out how to make them clear, and I realized they clear by getting 4 in a row. But they have to be like
it's only vertical.
A line, vertical, and then sometimes it'll also clear horizontal. If you clear that, it'll like also knock off.
Yeah.
So, but that game is weird. So that's one I could actually see of all of these, me probably playing the most because it's it's kind of fun puzzle, kind of drop down game. And then last, Legend of Zelda. Never have I ever played this game more than 2 seconds. So I started it and played it for about 10 minutes.
Did you try using a guide, or were you like?
I was just going in. I was going in Breath of the Wild.
Because you can do
you can
Breath of the Wild.
I got a sword. I like it. I got a sword. I don't quite understand why I can throw my sword. Like I shoot my sword like a gun.
Only
it's like a beam.
Health.
It's like a beam. If you have full health, you can shoot out a beam and stuff.
So I wasn't sure what the lore explanation of that was.
Read Hyrule Storia.
But
retcon everything.
But it's very cripplingly hard if you go like to the wrong area.
Yeah.
I'm fumbling my way around. I don't think I'll play it completely blind, but that is one of all these. I want to beat Super Mario Bros. Overtime, and I feel like I should beat Legend of Zelda.
It has some fun.
Is that a big time commitment? That's not like 20 hours.
If you're using a guide, it's not.
Okay.
Because you could probably get lost pretty easy.
Yeah, I've never beaten a 2D Zelda game. I've never played one for more than about an hour. So,
it's a fun little cool thing. And it's like for its time, it's like wow, there's a lot of like interesting like for what they did at that time.
Even
was
just
like
listening to the music and running around and trying to find the little guys.
Just getting the like experience and like feel of it.
So my review of NES Online, I think it's awesome.
Yeah,
I think some of those games are poo poo, and that's okay because they don't have to be anything that they're not. They were very good for their time, and it's cool novelty-wise, like you said, to have them available to play.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll go through and play all of these different games, but I'm excited that they're going to add Metroid at some point. Yeah. I would like for them to add everything at some point. Yeah. That'd be great. I really look forward to the day that maybe they get some SNES games on there. I think that would be really cool. I think they're going to slowly just do this. But this is a good start.
It is, but when, like, we've been dying for, like, a legit just virtual console where it can just have, like, a bunch of these games and stuff, and it's like, I think with our family membership, I think the price is right.
But I will say, I agree about virtual console, but I do like, because they have shown a complete inability to allow your purchases to transfer from system to system. So with that, I actually, with them, am more comfortable. I would give them $10 a month if it was a true Netflix and they had everything on there.
For sure.
Yeah. Because then I don't have to worry about carrying it from system to system. Yeah. I don't feel like I'm getting shortchanged something I bought and then they took it away. So I think that this is a good foundation if they keep building on it. And I'd be willing to pay more if they really did it the way it could be done. But it is Nintendo, and that will not be happening.
That will not be happening.
Anyway, I got one other game I want to talk about, but I'd actually like to kick it back to you. What have you been playing? Because my last one's a longer one.
What I've been playing is not... Like, it is newer, but not necessarily new games. I've been playing a lot of remasters.
Okay.
Oh,
so, nice. After I beat... Because it took me a really long time to beat Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild.
You should get an Xbox One. Tons of remasters.
Yeah, that's about it.
When I finally beat that game, I don't know how, like a few months ago.
Which one?
Breath of the Wild. Because I think last time I saw you guys, I was still playing that.
Yeah. Did you? So you're.
I've beaten it. Yeah, I've beaten it.
Oh, I forgot.
But since then, I wanted to take like a break of not like a break of a big game, but just like not take on such a daunting.
Yeah, it's a daunting game.
Game. So I've been playing Ratchet and Clank, the remake. Nice. Which is actually so much fun. They added so many little things.
It's installed on my PS4.
Have you ever played the originals?
Never. Is it worth just jumping into this one?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I would actually do this one over the PS2 one.
Gotcha.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Because it has everything that original has. Plus, that original didn't have RPG stuff. It wasn't until the second one, so that one went back and added RPG
Yeah, they
stuff
added lots of really cool little things.
That's pretty sweet.
Been playing that. I've been playing The Last of Us remaster. I've been waiting for so long to play it. When I got my PS4,
you played it before?
Yeah, I played it on PS3, but that's
never on the PS4.
But
it looks good on PS4.
That's great, I'm pretty sure that if it's not my number one game, it's
mine too.
Top two, top three. So like the second I got my PS4, that was the very first game I ordered, but I haven't played it because I wanted to like finish the other stuff I was playing. So those are the two big ones I've been playing. I'm always playing Smash, mostly Melee. Been going to, now that I'm not in school.
So when you play Smash Melee, you might have already been about ready to say this. Do you play that online? Are you playing with people?
So there is,
where does one play Smash Melee?
So
I think it was the thing you set up for our hangouts that we did. One of the first hangouts was he set up a online or Dolphin.
Yeah, we emulated it, and a lot of the scene has moved to playing online. Like where the town I'm living in, like you can say we're like an hour from the edge of St. Louis, but like the closest Walmart is a half hour in about any direction. So like we're like not I'm in the middle of nowhere. What people have been doing for like the past 15 years. Is there's like a local Melee scene. Like there's one for Cincinnati, where like there's different like they mostly actually run out of like Facebook groups, but they're all like regional. Whoa. Like they do like weeklies or bi-weeklies or whatever. So the closest one to me is about a half hour away. So now that I'm not in school, I've been trying to go to those.
Who's the best Smash player in St. Louis?
In St. Louis, I actually don't know because I was hoping you'd be like his DJ Master Mix. He just is ridiculous. The guy that well, I don't know that the guy that is the most he's the best from that region. His name is Dark Atma. is his name. But
Dark Atma. We're calling you out. Devin Chaney is better than you.
I feel like he doesn't live there anymore. I don't know.
I feel like he doesn't live up to the hype.
He's top 100, I think.
He's top butthole.
Yeah, Dark Atma. We're coming for you.
We're coming for you. I'll be your support character.
Thanks, man. I'll
be the shadow character.
The
shadow bodyguard.
But yeah, people play online too, which is what I normally do, because you can emulate with Dolphin Emulator. You can emulate GameCube and Wii games, and then they have a system called NetPlay where it's like you actually host a game and someone can connect to it. So like if I'm hosting, then
sounds better than Nintendo's on.
It actually kind of is. It's like. I can host a game, and it's like the game is running from my console, but then, like, from your computer, it's like you plug in your controller on your port 2 or port 3 or whatever with your GameCube.
It's like emulating if they were local, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, it's not like, join game. It's, I messaged them, like, my host code, and then I launch the game, and it launches as if there's two controllers plugged in.
That's insane.
Yeah, but the issues with that is you have to have like fast internet, and everyone plays Melee on CRT TVs, tube TVs, because
the lag.
Yeah, because the refresh rate is so like incredibly high. So like you either have to just get used to whatever you play on, or like it's a 60 hertz refresh rate monitor that I have, which is not like crazy high or anything, but the input lag is less than a millisecond. From like input to it's still not as close as like a CRT, but that's about as,
I didn't know that. But.
Like you can get like if I were to get a higher refresh rate, it'd be better, but it still wouldn't be true to like playing on CRT.
Alex is always big on like 30 frames, getting the highest 60 frames. He needs to start playing on CRTs. Honestly,
yeah, he does.
That honestly is the fastest frame rate if you want.
He should.
Okay, I'm gonna tell him next time.
How do I get involved in the Super Smash Brothers brawl scene?
That you would only play online, and you would never find
involved in the
you would
brawl
never
scene?
find
Where's the next brawl tournament?
The closest you could do that is to play Project M, which is a mod of Brawl. To make
I want vanilla brawl scene.
It's gonna be you and Light Atma.
Yeah,
it's gonna be me and the guy who made it.
There's one.
I still think this is the best one.
There's one tournament a year that I know of that's like nationally known that people still play it. That'd probably be your closest bet. So once a year you can drive to California.
I don't know if those guys are just oblivious. Or if they're just overly pretentious and like, no, I actually prefer this. This is actually the best one.
I mean, there are people that love that game, but it's just not like there aren't enough people playing it to keep it like.
Wonder why? I'm curious to see where Ultimate kind of stands in that ranking.
Yeah.
Like, is that going to be better than the Wii U one? Because I heard it was
like Wii U is kind of like
it wasn't as fast as Melee,
of like,
but it wasn't
nobody
slow.
Takes it seriously for competitive stuff.
I
don't know anything about the competitive scene, but I just feel like I only still hear about Melee, and then I see people just play the Wii U.
Yeah, Melee is like still like as far as tournament fighting game.
Like, do they play the current one, Wii U one at Evo?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do they play Melee at Evo?
Mm-hmm.
Do they play Brawl at Evo?
No, not at all.
So we'll see if Ultimate unthrones Wii U.
It will.
It seems like it will.
It's everyone's confirmed like.
Oh, some of the pros have gone in and played it.
It's like tournament organizers themselves are like, I can guarantee you 100% that Smash 4 is not going to be competitively played starting in December. Yeah. As soon as Ultimate comes out.
They've made a lot of changes that make it just easier. Like, you can pick characters after the map is picked.
Which is interesting.
That changes a lot, doesn't it?
Kind of, because normally in tournament setting rules, you would pick your character first. You do like rock paper scissors to see who gets the first pick of stage.
I love.
And you actually
tournaments.
You go through bans. So like if it was Melee, there's 6 legal stages out of the whole like 20 that are in there. So like I would ban 1, you would ban 2, and then I would get to pick from the remaining ones which one we could play from. And so in Ultimate, I don't know how that's going to go because there's like 300 stages.
Maybe you'll get to ban 10 or 15.
I have no idea how that's going to work. That's going to be a nightmare.
You ban 40, I'll ban 40.
The tournament will probably agree on a subset of stages.
But it's going to be such a huge subset. I don't know how that's going to go. Because they also have now, there's they now have a mode where you can play any stage but without any of the stage hazards. So, like, none of the random, like...
fireballs or anything.
Like, fireballs or, like, if the stage collapse, or the Omega mode, which is just no platforms, like, it's just like a flat...
It's nuts what they're doing with this game.
Like, I am so excited.
I'm gonna buy it.
This has to be your Christmas, because, like, the stuff that they're adding to is nuts.
Well, and...
the level of detail and...
One thing I'm excited about, I don't know if it's going to get picked up, though, is one of the game modes that they announced is, and I'm not going to remember what it's called, but Squad Strike, that's what it's called, where it is more like traditional fighting game rules, where like in like Dragon Ball Fighters and a lot of older Marvel vs. Capcom, those kind of games, you pick like 2 or 3 characters, and you fight with the one, and then when that one dies, it switches to the next character. They added a mode for that in. And so that's gonna be fun. I love the idea of having more like traditional fighting game.
I feel like this is a game of the year contender for me.
I think does this come out?
December 7th, I think.
Here's the thing about Evo and fighting games is I suck at fighting games, and I don't really play them a lot. I'll dabble a little bit, but I don't know why. I just love hearing about the culture of it and like the events, and I think Evos are really fun. If Evo was at all in this hemisphere, like if it was around here, I would go just because I feel like it'd be fun to go and watch, and I love when they trash talk and stuff, and some of these guys get so salty. So thanks for sharing that insight, man. That's a world that
it's fun.
You go deeper into Smash than I think I've ever even considered going into, like a genre. Like you're so deep into that.
Well, and it's so
and I think that's a good perspective, because I feel like me and you and Jacob on our show, we're very like at a certain like we get into certain things. We get a little more into the JRPGs. We get into our own things. Jacob gets really into Madden. But, like for the most part, like me and you, we just kind of bounce around. And you play different stuff, but like you're deep into Smash in a way that I'm not with any specific games. Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily expect it to like be such a big part. Like it's genuinely like a part of my life.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that like
you're branded, aren't you?
Game I am. For the Smash.
I don't know if that's a spoiler alert.
No, that's fine. But it's gonna be crazy. You should look into. There's I think it's just called The Smash Brothers. It's a documentary series on YouTube where they talk about how the Melee competitive scene started.
I actually would be interested in watching.
And they're like 30, 45-minute episodes, and there's like 9 episodes, I think.
So I'll watch that. That sounds cool.
It's so interesting.
The fighting game stuff, and then the speedrunning community.
Speedrunning is another thing I've gotten into.
Another thing I would never do. I don't think I'm capable of it, or not that I'm not capable, but I'm just not going to do it. But I think that
I think for speedrunning, awesome. I think you could even like it, but it would just have to be the right game.
Yeah, there have been certain games before where like I'm like, how fast can I do this in my own way? I'm not really getting into what are people actually doing. Yeah, I do that sometimes with Dark Souls. It's how quickly can I get through this area without having to fight a certain person?
Yeah, that's kind of what I started doing with Dead Cells, because I was like, okay, this goes here. I know this freaking.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a speed
as random as it was. I was getting good at like defeating certain enemies and stuff like that.
Well, because like the game that I speedrun, that I have 3 or 4 world records in, playing the normal mode is a 15-minute playthrough. Like my world record run is 15 minutes.
How long would it take me to be that game blind?
The first time
so I have a frame of reference.
The first time I played it, I beat it in like 7 or 8 hours.
Oh my gosh, dude!
But I mean, because it's a platformer where there's you don't. Like,
what's the game?
It's called Master Spies.
Now I'm going to speedrun it, and I'm going to break your record.
Do it.
Just to take the one thing that you have.
Please do. It's a very fun game, and it goes on sale all the time. And, so the game is, you play as Master Spy, and you have, like, 2 mechanics, essentially, but it, like, takes those mechanics and pushes them, like, to the limit.
Oh, nice.
Of, like,
I like games like that.
Yeah, so you jump. And
your friend made this, right?
Yeah, this is actually a guy that I work with. He made it, and yeah, it does okay. It's his first like game that he's launched and published and stuff. He puts it in. It's been in like Humble Bundles, and he's actually working. All the negative reviews that he gets for the game are people who said like, I got stuck too soon. This is too hard. It's a bad game. That's all the negative reviews. So he's working on an easy mode to try to be like a intro to the game kind of thing. But yeah, so you jump. You can like double jump, and then you can cloak, which makes you like invisible. And so you just have to navigate around enemies and platform to like make it through.
Oh wow! And now when you're invisible, can you pass through enemies?
You can't pass through enemies. Okay. No, you can still get touched and like.
But it's basically stealthing.
Yeah, it's like a stealth, but it's like a precision platformer.
Can you stick to walls like a Meat Boy?
Nope.
Okay. Whoa.
So I mean, it's like it takes just like those bare mechanics and like does really just like it just kind of pushes it to like platforming is like. Like, it is a stealth game. I would call it a stealth game, but, like, platforming is the, like, center of it. It's It's my type of game where, like Zach said, like, you can get stuck on something and have to try again. But I'm not, like, having to go super far back. Like,
you're not losing 40 minutes.
It's like when you do, in the newer Rayman games, when you have the levels where you're, like, having to... It's like a continuous runner, and you have to, like, learn the pattern. You almost, like, have to just learn the pattern as you play it. And that's how I... speedrun it, like
I learned almost you could do it with your eyes closed.
Just about yeah.
Whoa.
So
speedrunning.
There's even a mode
like watching it, and there is some times when I would play a game as a kid. It's like, okay, I can jump here. This is the quickest way to that route, and whatever and stuff.
You just try, and there's like there's not one set way to do the whole thing. Like you can kind of figure out your path and stuff. So it's pretty fun. I think it's potentially, and if this podcast gets seen by the masses and if this doesn't happen,
MGK,
I'll get in trouble maybe, but I think it's going to go on sale again in November. And it's normally like a $10 game. Okay. And so it'll be a couple bucks probably.
Oh, well, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
I'll get that on my wish list when we'll talk later.
Yeah, do it. That's a fun game.
That's sweet.
Master Spy.
That's
okay.
I want to buy later.
Yeah.
Something I've been speedrunning, speeding through the city. Spider-Man did a hangout for that with Kenny. The Spider-Man himself. He told a funny story about, hey, I was on the way over here, and you ever mess with like people in the back of? Did you?
I saw that.
He said, he mentioned, hey, I was doing this to kids, just shooting them with my webs or whatever, just acting like I'm shooting them. But he failed to say that he had his jacket on that had the Spider-Man thing. I just thought he was just doing that. And I was like, that was an important part you should have thought. Like, I just love doing this to kids. Like, just bringing it out. It's like, just sound like a creep. But,
oh my God.
So we did that. I'm having a blast with that.
I just hear more and more great things. I've heard the story's really good, too.
Yeah, the story I'm having a fun time with so far. I'm not that much into it because I'm just finding these backpacks. It's like a separate thing. But I have a feeling this game might, like other open worlds, just have stuff where I just kind of skip. It might just be like kind of skippable, kind of just these kind of cookie cutter things. All open world games kind of have it to a point. But the ones I'm doing now are like, find his backpacks. And they tell you right off the bat how many there are, where they're at or whatever. And when you find them, it's like an item. And then he kind of talks about it. He's like, yeah, this was when Minnie and Mary J like went there and did this and blah, blah, and... This was this ticket where we went, and it kind of fills in story stuff.
It reminds me of the pictures in Breath of the Wild almost.
Yeah, it kind of fills in story
maybe
stuff.
Not cutscenes, but it's like little nuggets of things that happened in the past.
So I'm having a fun time kind of finding those because he kind of explains stuff. So, but super fun, swinging around, they nailed it. That was the one thing I think they spent all their time on because that was one thing they couldn't mess up. They can mess up the story, you can mess up whatever, but like if you get that swinging right, people are going to have a good time.
I'm buying this game soon.
And there's RPG elements, so I'm leveling up like how many times I can do this kind of swing maneuver, how many whatever, and like...
Does it feel like an Insomniac game?
Yeah, it feels like a Ratchet and Clank-ish, like kind of like you're leveling up stuff little by little. So fun. Graphics look great. Puddlegate, I'm shutting you down. Did you hear about Puddlegate?
I did not.
People started writing letters to game journalists and wanting to sue because in the E3 demo there was puddles that are not there in the final game. The graphics kind of changed.
I mean, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
So,
Puddlegate.
I'm glad I don't own that game.
You're over. I just talked to the judge.
Spider-Man on the N64, one of my favorite games. Spider-Man 2 on the Xbox, one of my favorite games. So I need a Sony Spider-Man game.
You need a Sony.
I had a,
and this is sold like ungodly amount. It
I had
outsold
a
God of War.
feeling.
It outsold God of War, and
this
thing
game
destroyed.
this game is going to be a juggernaut for the rest of the year, leading into
for
next
sure.
year. This is going to hit 10 million copies.
Yeah, it's nuts what they were able to do with Marvel and like Insomnia. And stuff.
It's perfect time. Honestly, you can tell there's a hunger for like that Marvel, like real blockbuster level Marvel game because. Captain America, Hulk, like there are no games Iron Man for them.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man is the perfect character.
Spider-Man is definitely.
Yeah.
This is his Arkham Knight basically, Arkham Asylum, whatever.
Yeah.
Last game I played, we just did a hangout of it the other night.
It was last night.
Yeah. From when we were filming this, our girlfriend and wives joined us for Super Seducer 2. Is a game of dating simulators. Definitely check out this hangout.
Dude, you need to watch.
Definitely check out the hangout. I'll put it up here. It'll pop up here on the screen, whatever. Check that out. I'm not going to spoil it.
If you don't normally watch our hangouts, watch
one
this
of my favorite. I think my favorite hangout we've ever done.
It might be mine
because I think I laughed the hardest I've ever laughed. This game is just for a quick backstory. It's from a pickup artist named Richard Richard something, but he's a pickup artist. So he like teaches men how to like pick up women at bars and clubs and different stuff. So this game is like designed to like teach you how to pick up women or whatever. Full motion video, and you get to make choices. Like in the game,
I think you might have hired some Telltale people to help them make it.
That's Super Seducer 3. They're gonna get all the Telltale people for sure. Hey, if Telltale employees, you're watching this, hit them up. Might learn something. But the first game was like, just date or whatever. This second game, as I was getting the start, as they were coming over, the menu kind of changes different pictures of like him with girls, whatever. There is a picture of him sitting with like girls or whatever on the other side, and there's a guy with a gun on the table.
Yeah.
And we started one of the chapters. It's like you can either have sex, go on a date with this girl, or kill your enemies.
That was the name of the chapter.
We jumped to and the game also opens with you in a tank. You drive to the club in the tank, and I went. This immediately jumped the shark. It didn't wait like to point. It like jumps the shark immediately.
Oh my
But
gosh.
man, I'm having such a blast. Please watch that hangout if you're in for a good laugh because man, that is the hardest I think I've ever laughed in a video game ever.
One moment.
There's one moment
that broke us all.
Yeah, all of us.
I was on the floor.
It was unbelievably the comedic value. Perfection. So check out Super Seducer.
I'm a fan of this guy.
Definitely, I'm in.
There were some nice references to the room. There was some nice. The first game, I don't know that there was many references. I only played it a couple times watching you play it. But the first game like was really good.
Yeah.
But it was very like there's this scenario like the friend who's upset at her boyfriend in that scenario, or like I don't know the coworker. I don't know what the different scenarios were. This game, the scenarios, they got a little more weird with it. That and some of the options are like even crazier than the other one, and more cultural references and jokes. He references like YouTube videos, like people,
that was really funny.
Like he made an option, one of the options, because like he gets in a scenario and then you get like 5 or 6 options of what to do next.
Yeah.
And one of them would be like pee on the girl, and one would be like tell her that you're really sorry, and then one he put follow whatever this guy's name is on YouTube, his brilliant YouTube advice.
Yeah,
and so
basically trolling this guy on YouTube.
We clicked
this was stupid,
and it pops up the guy on YouTube complaining about his first game, saying this guy's so stupid. He makes it. Why don't you just be cool about it?
So he does that.
So he does what the guy said in the YouTube video he should do. And then after it fails, he's like, what a dumb idea. He puts on this what looked like a link to the YouTube video.
Like an actual link to the video.
Oh my god.
So funny. So Jack, I really think you should support this guy if you're into FMV stuff or just Man, it's a good
He's
time.
dropped two great games in 1 year, and there's already a thing in the menu for the third one.
It just says Super Seducer 3 is a menu option, so you
Yeah.
just got this game. Like, here's
Oh
that
my
one.
gosh, that's so
He might
fun.
be in
But
time for
I
Christmas.
think we'll definitely hook up for more.
Yes,
You know,
yeah.
more of that.
We
stuff.
did it with the girlfriends. We need to do a bros night.
Yeah.
Super Seducer.
Yeah, so we might have different variations. Who's here, who's not, whatever. We might pick people off the street. We might pick new girls off the club.
Maybe that's an
with
option,
the
too.
tips we learned.
That's a good
You
option.
never know. Yeah, so that's it for what I've kind of played, the hangouts and stuff, whatever.
We
But
play
you
with our
have
parents too. That'd be a great option too.
Yeah.
Bring in parents, bring in the elderly, children. Everybody
you-
should see this game.
me and my grandpa.
Let's get in the
Remember.
Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Oh, yeah, bring, like,
program,
our first
and we'll
grader.
bring our little brothers to play Super Seducer. to
I
teach
like
them.
that idea.
We gotta learn sometime.
We're doing good for the world and doing good for their brains.
Yeah.
Future generations and our
Yeah.
games.
Okay. So I
So,
forgot.
the last thing.
You mentioned Breath of the Wild. I bought the DLCs for that game.
Oh,
So, do you care if I talk about the first
no,
DLC?
go for it. That's fine.
There's no story.
You're stuck.
The Trial
You're
of the
stuck.
Sword DLC.
You're stuck.
That DLC is unbelievably hard. That is such a hard DLC. That was the thing I forgot. I was speedrunning. I was trying to speedrun through that. So basically the way this DLC is broken up is like you go in and there's like a set of trials. And there's like a beginner, a middle, and an end. If you watch Hangouts, Zach,
Yeah, I've streamed a couple.
I finally beat the beginner trials. And
Yeah.
I actually really liked that. I thought it was a great self-contained experience. I learned on each run how to do it better and more efficient. And I got to where I got to the end and I really had plenty of health, plenty of hearts left, whatever. And then I started the middle trials and I gave up, like immediately. I don't know what at all I'm supposed to do with those. All I wanted to say is I think it's cool. I think it's a cool DLC. I'm enjoying it. Extremely freaking hard.
See, I'm on the third one, and
So you're on the third
I'm
one?
having some trouble. So
It was hard enough that I beat the first one, and then I was like, I'm going to take a break. I'm not going straight into the
Were
second
you
one.
getting like mad about it?
Yeah. We were driving to Chicago, and I was playing, and I was screaming, and my girlfriend just looks over, and she says, after I kind of yelled for a minute, she said, maybe it's time to take a break.
That reminds me of that picture. Have you ever seen that picture of? There's a text message he gets on his phone. It's just like it pulls up the preview and it says "Dad" is the person sending it. It says, "I hear you yelling at your video game. Perhaps you sound very mad. Perhaps you need to try a different one."
Oh, man.
It's like without him knowing.
It just makes it even worse.
Yeah.
But
Perhaps you should
I
try
think the
something
thing
new.
that was driving me crazy is the specific stage where there's like a bridge when you first start, and then there's these three lizards, and there's nothing you can do. You just get screwed. You get ganked. It was literally a Dark Souls gank squad.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is harder than Bloodborne.
Yeah.
I was like, this right now, what I'm doing, and then when I die, I have to go all the way back to the beginning. I was like, this is harder than Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Because I was playing Bloodborne also at the time.
I know what you're talking about because when we did the hangouts, I almost died. Like that got like to one heart. I was like fighting.
Did you do
It
that
got
in
intense.
one run?
I think it took me. It might have been one or two. On that
It took me like
I think it
10
was two. It
to
was
12 runs to beat the beginner
Yeah.
trials. So that was that. And then the other game I've been playing, and I talked about this last month, is Bloodborne. So last month I was picking it back up. I've cleared all the main areas of the game. I've cleared all the optional areas. I'm down to the final boss, and then I guess a secret, maybe other final boss. I'm not doing them though because I started the DLC. I'm a good chunk of the way through the DLC, fighting those bosses. I got a couple of those left, and then I started doing the chalice dungeons.
Are you trying to 100% it?
I've gone back and forth. I have never 100% in one of these games, but then I looked at the trophy list, and I actually have almost all of them. The only ones I don't have is all the weapons, which I don't know if I'll get that. But then this is what got me on the chalice dungeons. So the way the game's broken up is there's the main quests, the main bosses and areas.
Just like the Dark
There's
Souls.
just like the other ones. There's some side areas. There's DLC, and that's normally how these games go. But Bloodborne has another thing called chalice dungeons, and there's like all these headstones that go up the side that you just leave. They're blank when you play the game, but you can get certain items and like create dungeons, and you can go into those dungeons, and they have different layers, and you fight through them. So, interestingly enough, they kind of reminded me a little bit of the Breath of the Wild DLC Trial of the Sword, where they're not quite as long, but there's like, instead of it being 12 levels, you go through 3 levels. And the other thing I immediately realized is the early chalice dungeons, I think there's like 8 of them.
Is there an end to the chalice
dungeons? So there's 8 main ones that aren't randomly generated. Okay. And that was what I was about to say is they are designed. They are always the same.
Okay.
Depending on no matter who plays the chalice dungeons.
Then there's random ones.
Yeah, and then you can make what's called root chalice dungeons, which are like randomly generated with the same tile sets and enemies. So I wasn't going to even do them at all, but then I started looking at boss lists, and then I started seeing people say these names that I haven't heard, and I was like, I only have 2 bosses left in the main game and 2 left in the DLC. And I looked up, there's like 12 bosses exclusive to the chalice dungeons.
That's crazy.
Wow. Then I looked at the different way the chalice dungeons look. They look nothing like anything in the main game. Like they're these echoey tombs, and they look completely. Some of them look like Mayan ruins. There are more enemy variety in the chalice dungeons. Like all the enemies I haven't seen in the main game at all, and there's more variety in the areas. So I was like, I'm going to do this. So the early chalice dungeons, I just finished the second one today, and there's 8 main ones. They're extremely easy. So like the first chalice dungeon has 3 layers, so you do the layer. The problem is they're very formulaic. So you enter an area, there's a door to a boss room that's locked, there's a side path, there's a main path that takes you to a lever. When you pull that, it unlocks the boss door. So, and then sometimes the side path and the main path kind of connect. And they generally take about 10 minutes to explore and clear out. You get items, you pick stuff up, and then once you do that, you go to the boss room and you fight whatever the boss is. So there's 3 layers per dungeon. So I've done 2 of them, so I've done 6 layers total. I did the first layer and I killed the boss in 4 hits. which in like a Dark Souls game, that is extremely not normal. But I found out you're really supposed to do those earlier dungeons earlier in the game. You unlock them when you defeat Vicar Amelia.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like way over leveled for the early chalice dungeons. But basically the way that they call the difficulty of them is by depth. So the first one is depth 1, second one is depth 2, and the third one I just unlocked is depth 3. So there's depths 1 through 5. 3 is starting to get pretty hard, and I've heard 5 is like the hardest thing in the game, harder than the DLC even. So all that being said, I am going to go through and do these. The areas are visually interesting, but they are very repetitive in terms of you're going in, you're trying to just explore each path, you're trying to find the lever, pull it, and then go fight the boss. But they work for these really, real small, because sometimes those games can be really big, sprawling areas, and it takes forever to get to a boss. I like that it's quick. Like, you just go through, you go through. There's a lantern right before the boss, and you go fight the boss. Yeah. I might be kicking myself once I get up against some of these hard bosses. But to me, I was like, there's exclusive bosses that are only in this chalice dungeon thing. So I am doing that. I recommend maybe you go back.
I definitely will, because Bloodborne's my favorite in the series.
I think you like Bloodborne. I know you like it more than me, because that was the other thing I was going to say.
You're playing more than me. I think you've played more than me now.
I'm at 55 hours.
I think you've played more than me.
So overall thoughts on the game.
Sounds like you like it more than me, though. You played more than me.
Overall thoughts on the game. I like the combat a lot.
Yeah.
I like how fast it is. When I go back and watch a video of older like Dark Souls games, I'm like, man, that is pretty slow. And I'll when we play Dark Souls 3, I'll slide right back into it. But I do like that speed. I've gotten used to like that dodge instead of the roll. I've really gotten used to that and kind of dodging through attacks. But I gotta say, overall, I love the world. I really do. And I love like the visual design of a lot of the areas.
Yeah.
A lot of the areas feel half-baked to me. And I'll give you an example. Like the College of Bergenworth. Mm-hmm. It's like 2 rooms. Like it's literally so short, and there's like 2 enemy types, and it feels not fleshed out. If I just keep going, like there's a series of levels like the Forbidden Woods, Hemwick Charnel Lane. There's like 3 areas in a row that are all kind of like a woods environment, and outside of some snakes in the one, like it just felt like very half baked. I don't know. I'm very much in the minority in this. I recognize that. Castle Canehurst, right? That is an area I see people praise about this game. I thought the castle was really cool. the entire castle is filled with one enemy type. It's just this tall, like, shrieking lady that just comes at you with a dagger really slow. And you enter some rooms and there's like 18 of them. And you just kill them all, and it's it's the most boring thing in the world to me.
See, now that's is that the area? Is that the area with I don't even know the names of those monsters crawling on the outside of the buildings, or is that somewhere else?
Oh, that's there, yeah.
See, now that's my favorite area in the game.
The area, no, a lot of people that is their favorite area. I watched like a thing about top areas in the game. Those crawling things F me up. I had to just kind of kill them and run away from them. I'm talking about once you get into the castle, I just feel like in the castle, like it's just these shrieking ladies the whole way through. Whereas I feel like, I don't know why, like in some of the other Souls games, I feel like there's just enough enemy variety that I don't feel like I'm killing the same exact thing for an entire area. It's not like that the whole game. There is enemy variety. I think it's a great game. Yeah. I think it's fantastic. I would consider it a classic. I'm not saying it's not. But to me, I kind of put it equal to like Dark Souls 1, which is, I love Demon Souls the most. Dark Souls 2, I love the build variety in that game, and so I like that one second. And then Dark Souls and Bloodborne are after that, which are really good games. I have issues with some of the area enemy variety design in those two games, but that's where I'm at on it. I'm really enjoying it, though. I think the lore is cool. I like it better than the Dark Souls 1 story, which didn't make any sense. I kind of get what's going on with like the blood and the insight and stuff. I don't know, for all the hype that I heard about like these amazing enemy design, like there's cool enemy design, but like, I'll be honest, I could look at Demon Souls and identify several things that I thought were like cooler, like people say Lovecraftian design. Like, I think about Tower of Latria and Demon Souls and those big brain things that would fall down, and like those weird enemies, like the things that would block their eye and stuff, like, and like the Medusa heads and stuff. I was expecting Bloodborne to like have crazy enemy design like that, like 18 different things in one area. And I feel like you walk into an area, it looks cool, and then you see like 1-2 enemy types repeated over and over and over and over again the whole level. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. I kind of found myself breezing through the areas and then just fighting the bosses, having a lot of fun with the bosses. So
cool.
Yeah, I like Bloodborne, and I'm...
Sounds like you secretly love it more.
Yeah, I'm a little dumbfounded, I will say, though. Like, people praise the DLC. Dude. People praise the DLC, and the whole first area is a reskin of the Cathedral Ward. Sorry, I mean, you haven't played it yet, but I don't know if you're going to, because you'll have to...
Yeah, I'll check them out.
I don't know. I felt like, as far as DLC efforts, like, Dark Souls 2 has way better DLC than Bloodborne. In my opinion, like there's more of it, and it's more unique areas that are from the ground up built for the game. So I don't know. I like Bloodborne, but it falls more in the back half of the series for me.
Gotcha. It's my favorite.
Yeah. I think you had a really unique experience playing through it with Soul King.
Shouts out Soul King. Some guy joined me on Twitch and was basically my Disneyland tour guy. He said, "Over here's this, and this connects to that," and I'm like, "Frick yeah!" Like, I had a very unique experience that made me like love the game and really just
and that's great.
Digging into that stuff. Awesome. But it's also the first one I beat, and I went back without Soul King less.
I will say,
and I started playing again. I was like, I love this so much. I really want to keep playing. I just love this whole world and just the pace of it more so than any of the past games. I just kept hitting walls in the past game, whereas this game, I really just kept picking the pace up and going here and whatever. And this one felt awesome to play through. But
I'm also. It does say something that I'm doing these chalice dungeons, which are basically like the same formula over and over and over and over again. So.
It's a fun one to just play, I think.
Like I said, I do consider it a classic. I just, to me, you know,
just like the other ones for the other stuff.
Yeah.
I get you. But, lastly...
I also have a chip on my shoulder about Demon Souls, because I feel like people forget about this game, and it's not right. People act like Bloodborne came up with this weird enemy stuff, and it's like, no, this was in the other game that's like 10 years old. Anyway.
Lastly, real quick, me and my wife are going through Lost again. This is her second time through. This is my 80th. But there's some stuff that actually was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Or there are some stuff, so it's kind of fun to like.
What seasons are you in?
We're in season 4 now.
Yeah.
A couple episodes of season 4. Season 3, I always, because I hadn't saw it in so long, I was like, season 3 kind of things kind of drag. And then watching season 3 again, I don't think so. Season 3,
really good.
Season 3, they go to a bunch of places. They just go to different sets.
I don't
all over
remember all the
place,
spots.
I think the
Season 3 is
only
nuts.
thing that drags in season 3 is everything on the island is very compelling. Nothing on the island is boring.
I think some of the flashbacks.
I think some of the flashbacks drag.
Yeah, there's some
get
episodes.
into some of this, and it's like
Jack's tattoo.
I don't
give a frick where
tattoo. What's going on with Juliet's sister? I don't know. I don't remember specifically if that was a bad episode.
No, that wasn't bad.
But some of the flashbacks they brought in the big change up at the end of the season. Perfect timing. Flashbacks were getting a little.
And you kind of know why that happened, don't you? Like what was happening with from the production standpoint, they didn't have an end to the show. Yeah. ABC was like, keep making episodes, and they pleaded with them, and finally they were like, we have to have an ending.
Yeah.
And they said, because we're running out of flashbacks. There's only so much you could tell about someone's story. It's like we're running out of them. And they were like, okay, you get an ending, blah blah. And they were like, that's when it kicks in, and like you can see from like mid season 3, you start to see. There are some filler flashback stuff because they're kind of running their
the pace of the story takes a very big shift going into season 4. It's kind of like 2 different eras of the show because the setup of the seasons is different 4 through 6. They're different length.
Season 4 is only 14 episodes. Now this is partially
4 is fricked up because of the writing.
The writer's strike in season 4. But season 3 has so season 1 through 3 have like 25, 26 episodes each. They're pretty big in today's standards. Full length. They're pretty big standards.
I remember 4 being
season
short.
4 is 14, and then season 5 I think is that length, and then season 6 is like 15, 16.
See, season 4 also is weird to me because that was when I made the switch from I was catching up on DVD to season 4. Episode 1 was. I'm watching
You're
live.
watching live, yeah.
That was when I started watching live, and I think maybe that's why it feels like 2 different eras of the show for me. Also, is I love that binging of the first 3 seasons on DVD, and then getting on to season 4. That dread. I listened to podcasts. I would follow these lost message boards, because you'd watch the episode and you immediately want the next episode, and you just wait and wait and wait. So I remember being so hyped for season 4, and then liking it. But I think of all the seasons, it is my least favorite.
Oh, season 4?
Season 4, even though it has some really great high points, I don't know why, I just feel like I remember the later part of that season.
I'll have to get back on that, because I'm only a couple episodes
I feel like the landing isn't super executed.
Because season 1 through 3, man, they each like season 1, it's that beach and kind of in the jungle a little bit, like setting wise.
Season 1 is glorious.
Yeah, and I love it. Season 2 is like the hatch.
Yeah.
Season 3 is like, we're going over here, we're going to the other thing, we're going on this, and they are all over the place. And I love that. I was like, whoa, this is changing up the show, and I'm digging this a lot more.
I think the other reason, tell me if I'm misremembering, I think the first few episodes of season 3 I can't remember if it focuses too much on the others or not enough. I feel like there's a weird gap where you don't know what's going on with the others, or they're focusing so much.
It starts going heavy on the others.
It goes so heavy on them that you don't even know what's going on with the survivors.
Yeah,
Aren't there like 3 or 4 episodes where you don't really see the other people?
You do. They do a good job of balancing that, but it is. I think it's kind of heavy, actually, like dark in season 3 because they're kind of trapped. Kate and like. Sawyer and stuff and Jack are like trapped. Mm-hmm. So I really love the episode. It can seem like kind of silly, but when Hurley finds the van and stuff,
I love
that. Breaks up that whole I just remember when the first time I watched it, I'm going like, oh my gosh, this is so like a lot of dark stuff's happening and they're trapped or whatever.
I forgot about
that. That kind of is a great break, a comedic break, and there's some funny jokes Sawyer says there and stuff. So
that's making me want to rewatch. I miss those characters.
That's how every time
I always rewatch a couple years and just.
And you guys are talking about it again. I'm like, man, I haven't watched it so long.
Sawyer, and I miss those characters.
His nicknames for everybody. So I'll get back next podcast on like season 4. Maybe I'll see what revisiting some of the seasons. You can feel different every time or a couple times, but yeah. So I think that is it for the DweeBros podcast. Check us out on Dweebo YT at Twitter if you want to see when we're going live with Hangouts, when podcasts are coming up. You get your daily dose of dweeb. Daily dose of dweeb. Say that 3 times fast. Can you? Put in the comments yes if you can, or no if no. And one last thing, just to tease it out. I've kind of teased it out on the Twitter. Maybe you already got this tease on the Twitter, but we are working on something pretty cool for the channel, and it is in production now, so you should be seeing that eventually. But I'm very excited.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be really cool. We don't want to really talk too much, but I think this is the first kind of big tease that's going on. For the longest time, we just said we're working on stuff.
Give them sometimes they drop for games. They'll drop key art.
Yeah.
Drop a keyword.
How about I drop a key art, like some concept right now on the screen?
I think it's a good idea.
You told me a little bit about it. What if I just start leaking
some
information?
Oh, man.
Cut the stream.
Cut
the stream.
I know something better. Here's how we're going to end this. I'm going to put up the key art actually right now. It's about to go up right now. Okay, it's on the screen. Devin, you react to it. Like, give us your reaction, because we're good at reactions and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, start now. Like, vocally, like, how do you feel?
I feel satisfied with what's coming.